Forever World, we are back. This time, we're gonna react to the 10 sickest 7 deadly sins fights that impressed everyone. Nanasu no Taizai. I don't know what that means exactly.
Okay.
7 deadly, yeah, okay. Nana means 7. So, possession, so I'm guessing 7 days.
Right.
Yeah, hey, so I can't remember all the 7 deadly sins fight. I remember Escanor, some of his, and that's really about it, man. I can't even remember what's his name? Meliodas is one of his really.
Yeah, they don't have like a really.
We got nothing that impressed us. Okay, we're gonna see.
Let's see what they
Let's
got.
see.
We're not entirely sure how magical powers work in the world of the 7 deadly sins, but we do know they result in some epic, action-packed fights. Be it because of the amazing animation or because of the power of the combatants, the fights in the 7 deadly sins are very impressive, and we've narrowed down our top battles for you right here. But before we get to the best fights in 7 deadly sins, we wanted to remind you to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to keep up to date with all of our anime content right here at CBR. Meliodas versus Ban. Starting us off, we've got the epic clash between two of the most powerful hand-to-hand fighters in the 7 deadly sins, Meliodas and Ban. Or should we say Meliodas and Ban, since the two combatants used pseudonyms to enter the Visal Fight Festival without revealing their true identities. They did, however, reveal the extent of their power, since the two combatants went all out in what was supposed to be a friendly battle, seemingly fighting with the intent to kill each other. The battle starts with a swift but powerful punch from Meliodas, who floors Ban, but the undead warrior quickly recovers with his healing abilities. Ban quickly retaliates after this, leading to a quick exchange of blows that seems like nothing more than a warm-up. At least for Ban, who uses his magical ability Snatch to steal Meliodas' strength, speed, and agility. The fight then becomes a time trial for Meliodas, since he has to defeat Ban before the immortal fighter can zap him of all his strength. And he doesn't go down easy. The brawl eventually comes to an end when Meliodas breaks out his demon powers, causing his eyes to turn black and a crest to appear above his right eye. With this power unlocked, Meliodas deftly stops Ban in his tracks, crushing his wrist and sending him flying out of the ring into a wall. Meliodas versus the 10 Commandments. Our next fight is from the 2nd season of the 7 Deadly Sins, which was titled Revival of the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments were a group of 10 demons that fought with the 7 Deadly Sins in the Holy War. At the beginning of Season 2, these demons have been awakened after their previous defeat, ready to threaten the world once more. But the 7 Deadly Sins won't let that happen, especially not Meliodas, who was once a member of the demon clan, but decided to side with humanity, which is a part of what makes this fight so epic. With a score to settle and a betrayal to pay back, the Commandments go after Meliodas all at once, and what results is one of the series' greatest fights. Though the action in this fight is top-notch, the reason we chose it for our list was because it shows Meliodas losing. Up until this point in the anime, Meliodas was, in most fights, infallible, an unstoppable force that only got stronger as time went on. But in this fight, even with the power he had restored, Meliodas was no match for 10 demons, who decimate him with the combination of strength, speed, magical power, and strategy, with the final blow being dealt by Estarossa, who kills Meliodas beneath his foot. King versus Gila. The fairy king Harlequin wasn't quite on board with rejoining his friends in the 7 Deadly Sins at first, mostly because of his beef with Ban, but when his sister's spirit appeared before him and changed his mind, then the Sins fight against Gila took a turn. With King's strength, Gila didn't stand a chance, even with her explosion power. Even before the fight started, we saw just how powerful and badass King was, since Gila gave King the chance to fight alongside Meliodas, Ban, and Diane, but he refused, leading them to sit out the fight and cheer King on as he released his full power. Gila was surprised by this choice, but soon saw she had miscalculated King's power, or rather, King became more powerful because he was fighting for the sake of others. One of the reasons this fight was so great was because it was our first real taste of King's power, particularly the power of his sacred treasure, Chastity, a magical spear made from the sacred tree of the fairy realm. Escanor versus Estarossa. Escanor was the final sin in the series to be revealed, having been posing as a barman who ran a tavern inside a dark cave. Though he appeared to be a small, frail man, we quickly learned that his power waxed and waned with the passing day, reaching its peak at noon. We got a glimpse of just how great this power was in Escanor's fight with Estarossa, a demon who could use full counter just like Meliodas, but with physical attacks instead of magical attacks. The pure might of Escanor's strength versus an opponent who could throw that same might back at him twofold made for an awesome fight that was equal parts fast-paced, action-packed, tensely slow, and hard-hitting. The craziest part of Escanor's power, as seen in this fight, was the massive scale of it. Escanor's sunshine power let him make miniature suns, which he used to send Estarossa flying, proceeding to smash him into a lake with another sun that evaporated the lake's water in a single blow. Estarossa was able to get one good full counter in after temporarily disabling Escanor's sun with his demon darkness, but Escanor's power only grew with each passing second. With one final decisive blow, Escanor used his peak power to finish off Estarossa with a powerful and constant sun attack. Diane versus Meliodas. Some of the best fights in the Seven Deadly Sins are the ones where two sins fight each other, like the clash between Diane and Meliodas. Both of whom were brainwashed by Holy Knight Ruin's illusion powers. Ruin made both combatants look like him to the other, leading the two friends to attack each other without mercy, resulting in one of the most epic duels in the series. The combatants in this fight are what make it so awesome. For one thing, it's awesome seeing how Meliodas takes on an opponent much larger than him, showing us just how powerful he is. Similarly, the fight was also a great showcase of Diane's fighting ability, but specifically, we loved seeing how a giant fights. Diane brings Meliodas close, so the full extent of her giant strength can be felt in her massive punches and kicks, as well as the long-range power of her earth manipulation abilities. Meliodas versus Ban. Rematch. Meliodas and Ban fight a lot, and their battle at the Visel Fight Festival was only the beginning. In fact, the two had such a good time beating the snot out of each other, they wanted to finish out what they started. Specifically, Ban, who insisted he would have won if the ring was bigger. So, in one of the episodes placed between seasons 1 and 2, a filler season titled Signs of Holy War, Ban and Meliodas had their rematch. But this time, the two fought in an enclosed magical arena created by Merlin, which fixed Ban's problem with their first fight. With this barrier in place, the two could really go all out, even more so than before. The result was an epic battle where both combatants used the environment to their advantage, dealing massive punches that sent each other into the walls of the arena, leading to crazy blood spatters that ended up being the highlight of the fight. Another great part of this battle was how raw it was. No weapons were involved. It was just a superhuman bare-knuckle brawl of epic proportions with plenty of hits that sent each other flying, lots of punch slurries, and crazy intense injuries.
Did he get bigger?
The craziest thing about this rematch was that it seemed like fun. Despite Ban and Meliodas basically trying to kill each other, it was clear they couldn't be happier. King versus the Albion. Seeing King take out Gila was only the beginning of his epic power, and in the second full season of the Seven Deadly Sins, we got to see the King of Fairies unleash even more of his sacred treasure's power, including its guardian form and its true ultimate form. This Albion was sent to destroy the fairy realm, but King wasn't going to let his home and the sacred tree within it be taken out by the beast. In protecting his home, King let forth a number of Chastipul's various forms of the Albion, showing once again just how powerful he was when he was fighting for something. On top of seeing King unleash the true form of his spear, which was used to deal the final blow to the creature, this battle also featured a very powerful moment when the other fairies finally accepted King as their leader. For a long time, the other fairies rejected King, blaming him for his sister's death and questioning his fairy status due to his lack of wings. But when they saw King protecting the fairy realm despite their hatred of him, they flew to his side and joined him in the fight against the Albion. It was an emotional moment for both King and the audience, and paired with the epic action, it made for a great fight. The Seven Deadly Sins versus Hendrickson. The epic conclusion of the first season of the Seven Deadly Sins came when the Sins faced off against Hendrickson, a holy knight who served as the main antagonist of the first part of the series. With the power of demon blood inside him, Hendrickson was able to heal from every wound that was inflicted to him. And there were a lot of injuries, since the fight started with Meliodas slicing and dicing away at Hendrickson, cutting off his arm again and again after it reattached. The rest of the Sins eventually joined in on the fight, inflicting even more damage on Hendrickson. To combat these injuries, Hendrickson went full demon, making the fight much more difficult. Just when all seemed lost, the other Sins started to attack Meliodas and Hendrickson, hitting their captain with everything they had in order for him to build up power for his ultimate technique, Revenge Counter. With Revenge Counter, Meliodas was able to throw all of the energy from being attacked at Hendrickson, which was enough to defeat him, finally putting the demon wannabe in his place. Diane versus Helbrum. Next up is perhaps one of the shortest battles in the series. Diane's assault on Helbrum, which ended in one death strike from her hammer, Gideon. After seeing that Meliodas had been hurt by the Holy Knight, she was furious. So furious that Hendrickson warned Helbrum to retreat, knowing what was coming next. Diane reeled back her mighty hammer and smashed it into the earth beneath her, unleashing a magical attack known as Mother Earth Catastrophe, which combines Gideon's power with the giant race's ability to control the Earth for a powerful strike. Mother Earth Catastrophe, on top of having the absolute coolest attack name, is also devastatingly powerful, taking the energy from Diane's swing to shatter the Earth and use the pieces to form a giant floating boulder, one that then crashes down with a massive destructive impact. Meliodas versus King. Last but not least, we have this somewhat subdued but rather interesting fight between Meliodas and King, which was the result of a training exercise to strengthen their power for the coming fight with the Ten Commandments. Like we said, there's nothing too fancy about this fight, but that's what makes it so interesting. Instead of being armed with their usual weapons, the two sins are given the bare minimum and told to fight each other with small wooden batons. But even when they're just armed with batons, King and Meliodas are deadly skilled warriors. Perhaps the coolest part of this fight was seeing King's telekinetic levitation abilities at their best. Though it wasn't with his sacred treasure weapon, seeing the Fairy King shoot the baton around with magical precision was pretty badass. As was seeing the other application of his magical power, Disaster, like when he made Meliodas' wound bigger with status promotion.
Oh, wow.
Meliodas was also pretty badass in this fight, blocking all of King's attacks with confident speed. Things got even more intense when King used a water droplet to ruthlessly attack Meliodas, condensing the drop so it felt like being hit by iron. It might not have been some big epic final battle, but this training fight was one of the best brawls in the series. Did we miss any of your favorite fights from the 7 Deadly Sins? Which battle?
I gotta find that fight. I did not know that they would. Okay. Yeah, that's some stuff. I thought I saw all of it.
I thought I did too, and apparently I have not.
We have not, y'all.
Okay. They didn't show any fights from the little movies they got, but you know.
Oh yeah, man. I don't remember those either.
All right. Good stuff though. Hey, I just knew my boy. I knew Escanor was gonna be in there.
Yeah, I thought he'd be in there more than once.
Yeah, because he had a couple of them.
Yeah,
you know.
Him and Meliodas. So that was, but either way, hey. But some of the stuff I hadn't seen, so I'm glad they put those in there.
Give you something to go back and look for.
Yeah, I want to see that King fight. That was interesting with the water and made his wound bigger. That's cool. Yeah, doing that, King crazy. Hey,
yeah, cool with the stuff. But hey, anyway, let us know what you guys think about the 10 sickest 7 deadly sin fights that impressed everybody in the comments below. And if this is your first time visiting the channel, go ahead and like and subscribe to it. Share us on out with your friends. Make sure you hit that notification button so when new videos drop, you'll be one of the first to know.
Hey guys, don't forget, check us out on Instagram. The link is in the description. We greatly appreciate it. So when you get through, hit like over here, go over there and hit like over there.
Likes everywhere, people.
Yeah,
appreciate you. Until next time.
Peace.